Kobe, I need a new job.
Why is that, Barry?
Because I'm a loser, Kobe. I have no skills. What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Music.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new month of Who Watches This podcast. I'm your host, Barry.
This is Colby.
Yeah. And this month we're going to have Colby guess what the theme is, because sometimes I like to keep Colby on the loop. So he has a list of guesses.
Right. Watching this movie, I was like, is it fish out of water?
No.
Is it movies with Liv Schreiber?
It's a very short list, but no.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
Is he? I've only seen him as Sabretooth and Cotton.
Okay. He's every movie he's in, like the beginning, you're like, oh, he's a good guy. And then by the end of the movie, he's the villain. Every single movie. Parker Posey's too easy.
Oh,
can't just be like Parker Posey month now. Is it like?
Although we could do a Parker Posey month.
We could. I looking through her movies, I was like, that would be fun. Is it like food carts or falafel?
That would really narrow down this movie.
I was like, is it movies that are getting re-released on Blu-ray for the first time this year?
No. Is this getting re-released on Blu-ray?
This year. I watched something with the director talking about it. Is it people who have influenced Aubrey Plaza?
Is she a Parker
I don't
Posey?
know, but watching interviews, I was like, oh, I feel like that was Aubrey Plaza, 20 years ago.
Oh, Colby missed the most in-your-face obvious hint. Movies about library things.
Is it really movies about libraries?
Yeah.
Oh, it seemed like
too obvious.
Right.
And that's what they say, guys. What is it? Isn't that like a law or something? Like the most obvious answer is usually
the correct one.
What law is that? Colby has the psychology degree. So.
Yeah, it is I know that. I've heard it, but I can't remember.
Yeah, today we're going to be having movies based around like library stuff. And I feel like as I was coming up with this idea, I was like, that really feels like an idea a sitcom would have on its last legs. Like, when they usually have a beach episode, it's like, oh, I don't know if this show's going to keep going.
Right. The last season, they're always like, let's add a baby or a young child to this.
Oh, or someone gets amnesia.
Oh, right.
Oh, man, but this movie really, oh, yeah, so we haven't even told you what the movie's about. So here we go for our first segment where I do a little ditty or sing a little song for you guys. I know this one, I feel like has to be a song. It's like it's in there, right? Mary likes to party all the time, until she needs to pay for the bills and for the bill and for the rent. Will she'll be able to find her way in life in the 90s and why? Today we're going to be talking about the 1995 Sundance, I guess, winner. I didn't look. Party Girl.
Yes.
Which I always love it when trailers always, especially back then, trailers always talk about movies, and it's always like a tour de grace.
I actually saw one thing that was about the film festival, but then it also got like a theatrical release, and then I was like, maybe I didn't read that. Maybe that was something else. Maybe they were just like, Parker Posey has been in film festival movies, and here's her release of Party Girl.
I didn't realize Parker Posey was such a big thing in the 90s.
She was in a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because what I really remember her from, because I'm a little bit younger than Colby, was Men in Black 2
Oh, okay, yeah.
as a sexy alien villain. But she's also like in Scream, 3?
Yep.
With Patrick Warburton.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't really know her as like someone who was like in a lot of things.
Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah, like look, she was running. She was
Oh
busy
my goodness!
in the
Yeah,
90s.
you pull that up. That's like
Coneheads. I didn't even know she was in Coneheads.
4 movies a year.
Yeah, she was absolutely. Actually, you know what? She's consistently been working throughout the years. Like every year she's had something until like 2019. Maybe she just wanted to take a break.
She didn't put anything out during the pandemic. What's wrong with her?
But yeah, we're gonna be talking about the 1995 Party Girl, and this is kind of a weird movie to talk about, just because, you know, again, it's a Sundance film, so those are usually indie films.
Right.
Surprisingly, it's $150,000 budget. I was like, this is like $50K, easy. I feel like a lot of that went into like, you know, renting out a library. But we start the movie out with
she had a wardrobe.
Oh, yeah, but I feel like you could, like, you know, like
Rent
pretty
it
vintage,
or
you know.
whatever.
And you're in New York.
Yeah.
Definitely, there's places that they could have really just gotten those things. But we start the movie off with a pretty standard, I feel like, a Manhattan, New York party. Not like, you know, like Upper West Side or Central Park, but like somewhere in Manhattan.
Yeah, like a 90s club kid party.
Oh, yeah, and just like, I was like, when I was thinking about this, watching this movie, I had actually just listened to this podcast about the Party Monster kids back in the early 90s and how insane it was. Like, it was more geared towards, like, the LGBTQ community, because there was, like, a murder that happened with all that stuff. But I was like, oh, man, this is right up that alley, because it's around the same time period, right? But, yeah, we have a little snake through this apartment complex where they're having this pretty big party. You know, it spills out into anything that spills out into the hallway is a big party, right?
Yep.
We get introduced fairly fast to a bunch of characters that's reoccurring throughout the film, but we get introduced to our main character, Mary, played by Parker Posey, and she gets arrested quite fast. Is she like smoking like a joint or something?
Yep.
Yeah, you know, that marijuana in the 90s was no joke. You got arrested real quick. The party still goes on without her. We get introduced to Guillermo Diaz, who is a struggling DJ. His name is Leo in this whole thing. And as she's getting arrested, he's like, "Can I stay here with you?" And she's like, "Only for one night," as she's getting dragged away by the police.
Right, yep.
She lands in the slammer. She uses her one call to call her godmother.
Yep.
Who, in very rare situations, right, is actually like, I guess, like her next of kin.
Right, because you find out a little bit later it was her mother's best friend.
Yeah, and it's like so funny because like I'm actually like I'm a godfather or godparent to like a good amount of, well, not a good amount, like 3 kids. But like I always think about the situation, like, oh my god, what if they're going on this family trip and they all die and then I have to take care.
Just a house full of children.
But I was like, in my head, I'm going through like every part of that family has to die. And I was like, in that situation, why isn't that kid with them? If that whole thing is happening.
Right, yeah.
But he calls her godmother to bail her out. And the next day she goes to the library where she works at. Right. And she's like, I wouldn't know. She goes somewhere else. I forgot where she goes. There's a lot of parts in here that I'm going to forget just because it's just, I don't know. It's hard to kind of.
It's cut like an indie film.
Yeah. It's
a rough cut. It's hard to follow. Like it's sequential, but like you don't know if the cuts are like, it's been a day, it's been a month, it's been like 3 months, like...
There's no like timestamp on all these things, right?
Right.
But obviously she gets home. I think she first goes home. She sees Leo there. Leo owes her some money, but he's like, I don't got no dough. That's why I'm staying with you.
Right, yeah, because he's like, until I get this job DJing.
Yeah, I can't give you any money, and her rent is due. She has no job.
Right.
No real world life skills, and I was like, how did she get cleared for this apartment? But
yeah, so like you kind of find out that she's like, she basically like just finds empty places and then like throws a party and then charges a cover charge, and that's how she like makes her money.
Oh, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, and then if they do a party at somebody's house and they have fancy clothes, she'll just go and get changed into the fancy clothes, and then when the party's over, she'll leave
with the fancy clothes.
Yeah.
So she's a thief. She's a fucking thief. But anyway, hey, in New York, kind of like what you have to do.
Right.
Fake it till you make it type of situation. And it's funny, I was about to say, I was like, I don't know how she got cleared for the apartment because, but then I think about it, it's like, well, it is the 90s. Maybe it's a little easier. Nowadays, you have to have, triple your income?
Oh,
or triple?
Right. In New York, that size apartment, that would have been like...
Oh, yeah.
$12,000 a month.
Maybe not that much.
It was like...
It's still a walk-up. And, like, the landlord is a guy who owns a grocery store.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But at least, like, 5. In Manhattan, prime real estate, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
I know someone in New York is going to listen to this, like, you guys have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Right. Because you see things that are like, I have this 12 by 12, that's $12,000. My bathroom and my walk-in closet are both like in that 12 feet.
Yeah, well, what we're thinking about is like what we pay for here in Las Vegas, and then we're just adding $2,000 more to that, $2,000 to $3,000 more.
New York's probably more like just add a 0 to the end,
right?
But yeah,
but no, and so after that, after figuring out her situation, she goes to her godmother, and the godmother's like, "Listen, I have no money to float you. All right, they're cutting back on public libraries. I've had to it's called 2 of my best people had to go because they went to a private or academia,
right?
Like a private library, probably for like colleges and stuff like that.
Yeah,
where they're getting that that dope tuition money, and really, and she's like, so I'm short staffed. I have just no money to give you. And she's like, why don't you get a job? Why don't you be a waitress? She's like, I'm not a waitress.
Yeah.
I am no waitress. These hands aren't meant for serving. They're meant to be served. She doesn't say all that, but it's basically, yeah. Right? And what's it called? Her godmother pretty much Jedi mind tricks her.
Oh yeah, totally reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have an opening here, but you're way too good for that.
Yeah. Well, you can't be like a librarian because I didn't know that librarians needed a degree. Like library sciences, I didn't know was a thing.
Right, yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
You knew?
Yeah, so like you could work at a library, but to be like a librarian's like, it's a title. It's like doctor. Professor. I
know. To go to those lengths and get a mediocre salary kind of sucks, though.
Yep. Yeah, we had somebody who worked at the library at they used to come into the
comic book shop?
Comic shop, and they were like, "Okay, I'm finishing my degree so that I can get a promotion."
Actually, someone's gonna be like, "You guys don't know, but librarians make this much. You stupid." To that point, librarians, I'm sorry if you do make a pretty decent salary. There's some nice libraries around town that's like, oh, they got to make at least something decent.
Yeah, but like there's also there is a lot more than just like to be a librarian. Like you're not just like I have to make sure the books are in order. There's like a whole bunch of programs that the library facilitates, and you're now in charge with of all those things.
Oh,
At least
like you're talking about like
you're correct now.
well, you're talking. I think what you're saying programs as in like story time for kids and all these like programs for children. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking you meant like a computer program that like this is how you have to this is how you log it in.
There is that too.
There's that too.
But yeah, no, you have to like run a whole
Oh yeah, whole program.
gambit of
Yeah, so I don't mean to like belittle the degree, but I was like in my head I was like that's an associate at best. Like, to spend like 150 to 200K to do that is like that's gotta suck because the returns can't be that great. Like it's great, but like, not like a doctor.
Yeah, but then like you're at your library, you're like, hey, I'm gonna do these programs so that I'm gonna like bid for like grants and funding and stuff, and then the more programs and the more grants that come in, the more I get paid. So you're kind of
so that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping you guys are getting paid because if you guys are getting like a 200K student loan debt. And you guys aren't getting paid. I'm so sorry. You guys are shaping the children of the future or the people of the future. But no, so Parker Posey or Mary, she starts working there. She's not so great. Well, she doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
But she's there to collect the check, much like a lot of 70% of America is. But they get suited up. They go to a club where her boyfriend Nigel, played by Liev Schreiber, is working at. Obviously, they get to skip the line.
Right.
Because Parker Posey is a very important person. Yeah. Leo gets in a scuffle with some guy. He's like... But they get into the club, and they have, like, a situation where, like, Leo's super, like, nervous to talk to Renee, and Mary's like, you just gotta be yourself. And then she gets up. Pretty cool. They show a little bit of ballroom here. Do you know what ballroom is, Colby? It's a little bit of it's a LGBTQ sort of situation. It's about like voguing, the dancing that the guy was doing around her. I believe is called ballroom. Don't yell at me at Twitter if I'm wrong.
I thought ballroom was like just loose pants.
She does like this really. She's pretty much there to like she dances with the guy, but she's there more as like a prop than anything else.
Right.
But no, the what's it called? She does also breaks up with Nigel because she learns that he peed in her shower.
Right.
And she's like, I can't be seen with someone that would do such lowly
things.
Like,
again.
Which, first of all, you guys, if you're not peeing in your shower, you're just wasting water.
Right, and if you get so drunk and you got to pee somewhere, at least he's peeing someplace that has a drain.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, you don't want to be the guy peeing on the corner of the room. It's gonna smell like asparagus all day. No, but like we also cut to a situation where Mary goes to this falafel guy. This guy from Lebanon, and he's like so funny. He's like scouting the falafel cart across the street.
Right, the unofficial, like
right,
the Americanized falafels.
Right, the Panda Express of falafels.
And he's timing things. He's like, oh, so they only fed that for so many seconds, and
their advertising is better. And I like like I lived in New York, and I thought there was like some sort of understanding between these food cart guys, like. You can't be within 2-3 blocks of my falafel cart, or else there will be blood.
Beef, yeah. I feel like that probably is a thing, but definitely. He doesn't look like
the confrontational part.
Yeah,
yeah, and I know for people with like green cards, especially like Tom Green had this situation right where like MTV had to make sure that he was able to get out of a situation that might call the cops. Because if you have a green card and you do something illegal, you're automatically deported.
Yep.
I think, right? And so like obviously you can't do any altercations. But no, Mary has like sort of like this weird banter with falafel guy. And maybe it'll lead somewhere because he's like, try this Turkish delight, and she's like, well, aren't you from Lebanon? He's like, there's no Lebanon delights, and she's like, ooh, I'd like some.
Yeah, I would like you to give me some.
It's a penis joke.
Right.
No, but then what's it called? Leo ends up going to Renee, and he sort of like fakes that he used to DJ in London, and she's like, "Where?" And he's like, "Oh, this club called Fish and Chips." Personally, me, I would have went for Bangers and Mash.
Yeah. It's a little heavier, a little more hardcore.
You know, and that's like one of two staples I know that's British with
Right.
Bangers and Mash and Fish and Chips, and
Toad,
I guess
toad in the hole.
and I guess beans and toast, which is
Right, but
again,
yeah, you don't want to say you DJ'd at Beans and Toast. That's
it's a club where everyone has a flatulence fetish. Oh man, but no, and so she's like, all right, fine, but hey, there absolutely was it like Henry Collins or something like that?
yeah.
Some person, maybe they had dated.
Tom Waits or something. I don't know.
Maybe they had previously dated, but she's like, absolutely not.
Right. And he's like, yeah, no, of course.
Right. And so like Leo goes to Mary to tell him about how everything went. Her godmother obviously gets mad. She's like, you don't care about this job. You know, you don't care that we're paying. You're just here to collect the check. And she's like, no, I'll try. You know, she's like, look at this. Like these, I forgot, it was like a situation with a bug. She's like, this is not even the right place.
Right. And is that where she was like, on PBS, they taught a monkey how to do this in less than 3 hours.
You've been here for like 3 weeks and you can't even still do it. So that night, you know, what's it called? Well, like before that, she does talk to the falafel guy again. She learns a little bit of Lebanese.
Right.
I think it's what it's called. Sorry, I'm putting just knees in at the end of it, you know. But I think that's what it's called. Maybe not. Maybe it's Arabic. I think she says something about Arabic too. Sorry, guys.
Maybe, yeah.
We're not well versed in linguistics.
I think he's Lebanese, but he speaks Arabic.
Yeah. Again, we're not linguistics, you know. Colby has a degree in psychology.
Right, yeah.
But no, he like teaches a little bit. They agree on dinner on Friday night, but this whole altercation with her godmother happens on Friday, and she ends up kind of getting wasted, and she ends up spending the night in the library, and kind of like learns. Right. She's like, well, you're not going to call me stupid.
Right, and she's like embarrassed, so she basically she checks out a book on the Dewey Decimal System and reads through it, and then and it like kind of clicks. It's like,
oh, okay.
And it's almost like the way she sets up a party. She's like, okay, well, you know, this is the steps you need to do to set up a party. This is the steps you need to do to master the Dewey Decimal System.
And like, you know, for somebody to be able to do that, pretty smart.
Right,
you know, she like obviously all she ever had to do was apply herself.
Right, yeah.
You know, so like the next day she like actually kind of kills it, and she shows her godmother like, hey, you know, I learned it. And so everything kind of goes like good for a while. She starts to actually apply the rest of that into her other daily life. like she goes back home and she actually categorizes Leo's records. And he's kind of pissed because then like obviously when you have something set up in a certain system, like that's your system.
Right.
But she's like, oh, that's so inefficient. Like I have it in categories, and I even have a cross section, and here is a glossary for you to like be able to find everything. And he's like, oh, and like it just takes him a little bit, but he learns it.
Yeah,
and it is better.
Right, and for all of our young viewers, the Dewey Decimal System was pre-computer. How you sorted the books in the library.
I think they still. I think it's still on the Dewey Decimal System, but now library goers don't need to learn it because they could just look it up on the computer and it tells them the section.
It's like the Dewey Decimal.
Because like me and Colby, we kind of grew up in a library where you had to like there's a card catalog.
Yep.
I kind of want one of those things just for like Magic the Gathering cards. That'd be fancy.
Yes, it would be nice.
Inefficient, but very fancy. Oh man! But I know, like, and so like sort of like the pieces are kind of coming together. You know, she's having a decent like time with the falafel guy. Obviously, they go through a falling out because she does ditch him. for learning the Dewey Decimal System. He like looks for her all over the place, runs into Leo. He's like, come to this club. Leo has a great DJ set, and he actually gets saved by one of the dancers.
Right.
Because he was just so enamored with her beauty.
Yeah, then he kind of drops the ball and lets the record end. DJ never lets the record end.
Never. That is a club sin. You're fucking up the flow of the club, and you can't fuck with Renee's money.
Right.
You don't want to be known as the club that stops.
Yeah.
But then what's it called? We do learn that Falafel Guy was a teacher back in Lebanon. You know, but he's like, but here I am Falafel Guy. And I don't know how to get my certificates, and everything here is much more different, and I have to work this job because I want to bring the rest of my family here.
Yep.
And so he eventually, like, Mary keeps annoying him at work. Like, it's kind of cute.
Orders the same thing every single day, but it's
Yeah, it's a falafel with a hot sauce and a side of baba ganoush and a Diet Coke.
Yep.
Not a bad order. It's super like a cute little montage. She comes in different outfits. Parker Posey, I think, is like sort of like one of the early blueprints of the manic pixie girl. But one with goals. No, and then so he does come into the library. He's like, he wants to learn how to get his certificates and what he needs to do. And Mary's there.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, you're academic too.
Right, because he didn't know that she worked at the library.
Yeah, and he's like, probably like, oh, your brain. You're not only are you a sexy outside, but your brain. And they have sex in the library. Which, on the bucket list.
Right. And previously she had like a fantasy where she's like listening to some
Lebanese
music, and she's dancing with the little washcloth like a scarf, and she has a fantasy of him like making falafel and taking off this leather jacket and having no shirt on underneath.
Yeah. So yeah, they make out or they have sex, but the window is open. The book's natural enemy, water.
Right. Yep.
And so she leaves it, and her godmother's super pissed. She's like, we trusted you to close up properly, and like, look at these 30 books destroyed, 10 of which is no longer in print.
Yep.
So she gets fired, which is unfortunate. She goes to Falafel Guy. Falafel Guy's like, oh, don't, like, maybe we can fix this, and they're like in this like abandoned warehouse or somewhere abandoned in the industrial district. And she's like, oh my God, this would actually really be great for a party.
Right.
So she throws a party, pretty massive, like maybe like a little genie inspired, kind of racist because
what's a Lebanese party?
Kind of.
But yeah, she gets a little overboard. And
Falafel Guy is there with his falafel cart, and she's like yelling at everybody. Yelling at Roger, her best friend, yelling at Leo, who's in the DJ booth.
Yep.
Renee is just there because she's Renee. But she's like lit, she's drunk, she's barking orders, and Falafel Guy is like, you are so mean to your friends. They're all helping you, and you're just walking around drinking and yelling and barking orders.
Wait, why am I making falafel? Nobody eats falafel in the evening.
Yeah. And so Falafel Guy leaves, and then these two guys are having a drug deal next to them, and she's like, I need you to give me something that's going to make my future kids' skin crawl.
Oh, yeah, right.
She probably gets ecstasy. I think that was like the club drug back in the day.
Probably.
And she's like kind of like stumbling over everybody. Renee's just watching it all unfold. She thinks it's funny. But what's it called? No, and like her, but like everyone's kind of like, oh, your life is kind of shit right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and this was like did she get an eviction notice?
Oh yeah.
That was part of this like party where she's trying to make the money to.
Oh yeah. Well, I think she got the money. She sold a whole bunch of her designer clothes.
Right.
Got the money. Was able to pay Mr. Chen. And then she got back, and then it's like somewhere in between there. Again, this is an indie cut movie, so
Right.
So everything is kind of weird, right? But then she has what's it called? That night she goes home with Nigel, and Nigel's super aggressive, about to commit sexual assault,
Yes.
basically. So she's able to lock him outside, and she falls asleep on the staircase.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, there's like certain times where like you wake up somewhere and you're just like, oh, my life can't just be this. And that's like New York staircase, dumpster,
Right.
alleys,
Right. Yep.
a stranger's home, huddled over a fence, which I've been at. Like I got super drunk, and an ex had found me huddled over a fence, staring a dog in the face at like 2 a.m.
Right.
Terrible. So certain things make you want to change your life, and so she's like, all right. So she goes to her friends from the library because she had built up a decent relationship with a lot of the the workers.
Yeah.
Some of them were kind of like hesitant towards her at the beginning, but like, you know, she obviously someone shows improvement.
Right. Once she mastered the Dewey Decimal System,
Yeah.
respect.
And you're not like dragging anybody's work below. They all wanted to see her succeed.
Right.
So they all help her like study for it, and her godmother still is like, no, you're a fuck up. You're just like your mother. And like, it's funny. I think her husband had died previously. And like, she's like, oh, I bet you were having a grand old time with your friends and falling in love and, you know, just being young and beautiful. So, you know, a little hesitation. You know, she might have been the ugly best friend. But then she goes to her godmother and she's like, listen, I want you to come to my apartment at 8:00. And we could have a serious discussion.
Right, because the godmother had previously mentioned, was like, you know, you come to work and then you go to your parties, and I know nothing about you or your life. You know, I don't even know who you are as a person anymore.
Yeah, you just call me for bail.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, she's super serious. She puts on like a little librarian outfit.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta accessorize, you know. Look at Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde.
Yep.
But her friends are like, "Oh my god, it's her birthday!"
So we gotta throw a party.
And so she comes in, they're like, "Surprise!" She's in this new outfit. Renee's like, "Oh my god, are you like a drug addict?" You know, after that party, I mean, during that party, I realized I thought you were just having a fun time, but like maybe you have a problem. And she's like, "No, we can't have this party." She's like, "Oh my god, she is an addict. Is this an intervention?" Renee kind of has like the funniest moments in this whole thing, just because. You know, funny. We'll talk about it because it didn't really have any impact on the rest of the story. So there's a scene I wanted to talk to you about, but yeah. And then her godmother comes and she's like, "Oh my god, I knew it. I knew you couldn't change. You're just like your mother." And everyone's like, "No, she's changed. She made my records into the Dewey Decimal System with the cross section, graph. You know that just made my stuff so much easier."
Right. And then after he gets in trouble at one point, and because he plays a Tom Waits or whatever that he wasn't supposed to, so that she like categorizes like red dots for everything that has like that guy,
that singer. So she's like, "Really helped me." And then like, you know, they talk about her accolades as like a party planner and all that stuff. I mean, honestly, really, as I was watching this movie, I was like, you could just go into party planning. You don't have to be like crazy,
right?
Or event planning.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but maybe she wanted something. I don't know. A totally different lifestyle, right? And so, like, you know, and then all of a sudden, a stripper comes.
A police officer comes and tries to arrest her.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you know, you need bail again." She restrains herself. She does want to dance, but she's like, no. Handcuffs the stripper. And then she talks to her godmother. She's like, I want to be a librarian.
Yeah.
You know, and like her friends had told her there's like city government programs that she can go to get her degree.
Yep.
Howard, the other librarian, is like, yes, you don't want to go to private. Don't sell out.
Yeah.
But and she's like, the godmother is super happy. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she never had a kid as well. So like it kind of feels like, you know, she also maybe feels like her kid.
Yeah, I got that.
And probably, you know, her mother and father aren't around, so maybe they passed away. Maybe from partying too much, maybe from drugs.
Right, because the aunt keeps saying the mom is like, multiple times, she's like, your mother was
a partier.
Not coordinated or something.
Yeah. Doesn't really delve into it, but we just know that her mother wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
And so the movie kind of ends where, like, you know, the godmother's like, I will help you through this whole situation. We'll get you, you know, a career.
Right.
Basically.
I'll sponsor you to get into.
Yeah. You know, and then, you know, she hooks up with Falafel Guy because now he's been able. Oh, yeah, he's like one of the other persons that advocated for her. She's like,
right.
She helped me do all these things so I can get my certificate to teach here and stop being Falafel Guy and being English teacher. You know what is funny though is like a lot of like English teachers that are English is their second language way better at teaching English.
Right? It's a weird thing because somebody had one of like my psychology classes, they said they were like that if you were trying to learn something, whatever it was, if you found somebody who used to be really bad at that,
oh yeah,
and now they're good, so much better teacher than somebody who had natural talent and was always good at it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think that you can apply that to a lot of things in your life. Look for the person who sucked at it the most and is now really good at it.
Yeah.
Because you have to work twice as hard.
Right, and they learn all the tricks and the tips on how to improve things.
Yeah. But no, the movie kind of ends on a pretty happy note. You know, Leo has his new job. He's with the dancer girl. Nigel is gone because he is a creepo.
Yeah.
Mary has found a career that she can find pride in. And Falafel Guy is now Teacher Guy. Right,
and as they're all dancing at the end, somebody hands Godmother a weed brownie.
Oh yeah, I was like, when I saw that, I was like, you should not eat that.
I know Teresa was like, she's gonna eat the whole brownie.
Oh, you watched this with Teresa? Oh my god, what a time capsule for the both of you, right? Did this kind of like reminded you guys of like your?
Oh, totally, yeah. Yep.
Like the clothes and everything.
Right.
Oh man. All right, let's go to our other section where we got high star and low star. Surprisingly, this didn't have any 1 ratings on IMDb.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So hello. Or hello. Okay, this has been a favorite since I was 14. Granted, I don't watch it multiple times a year anymore, but this is not a movie for older generation who want a deeper meaning or some brilliant message. This movie is fun. It's pretty dated, almost passé, but Parker Posey is so brilliant that it's unbelievable. If you want to be charmed by 90s breakfast at Tiffany's, attended 90s raves, or love Parker, this movie is for you. Otherwise, don't bother.
Now it's from 2003. Now we have one from 2020 during COVID. Are we supposed to empathize with her? Sure, Parker Posey is off the charts cute when she just stands there and says nothing. Oh no, I did not read this. maybe smiles a bit, but as soon as she starts talking, you begin to loathe her. Her character is mostly obnoxious and annoying in this movie. She's rude to the only adult who cares about her. She whines to her roommates. She overrates her own importance. Just an all-around unlikable person. As for the larger movie, I'm sure the budget allowed for only one camera, two at most. None of the jokes land. The supporting characters are insipid. And the pacing is funeral. Okay. Too cheap to be a major release, paradoxically still predictable, and Hollywood to be an indie. This is simply not a good movie. So I do sort of agree a little bit with just a little. It's dated. Obviously.
Right, yeah.
But like this movie was not to be like this transcendent masterpiece.
Right. It was like a person finding themselves.
Yeah, like in New York, it's pretty hard where everybody is, Wall Street or something like that. It's really hard to find yourself in, especially in a city like New York, where if you're barely making ends meet, you're living paycheck to paycheck. It's
right.
Really hard to be inspired.
But I like, kind of like watching some reviews and stuff. There's a lot of people who talked about how this was a pretty realistic depiction of like that club scene where it wasn't like a lot of the big movies like blow it up in the club. This, it's thousands of people at these parties and there's all, everybody's, but that this was a realistic depiction of that.
Oh yeah, the club personas and all that stuff. Obviously, like I told you guys at the beginning of the episode, I was listening to the Party Monsters crew of like the LGBTQ, where they had as I was listening to that, they're talking about how they had to top each party. There's like Jello wrestling, mud wrestling, and this is not that. Like they were going to just like a regular club. But still, like, it's about who obviously, to skip the lines and all that stuff.
Right.
Also, just think about, like the food cart guy, the falafel guy, him scoping out the competition is another real aspect. Because, like, that food cart's taking money away from your food cart.
Exactly, yep.
And they get serious because, hey, again, I know you guys already know that I've already said I lived in New York, but there's plenty of times where I go to the hot dog guy and he's like, "Don't go to Hot Dog on 3rd Street." The guy sells garbage hot dogs.
But realistically, like, nobody saw her, like, at the beginning of the movie, nobody was like, "Oh, yeah, obviously she's going to become a librarian at the end." No, it's not that predictable.
Right.
Like, obviously, she's going to have a redemption arc and then come through and,
well, like,
want to better herself.
I know, and she was like, and she knows she does talk about in the movie where she's like, I'm going to be 25 this year. Hey, when you are clubbing consistently from the ages of, I'm pretty sure she got in there earlier than 21.
Right. So yeah, especially if her mom partied and then passed away, she's probably
Oh, right. Especially the 90s. I mean, she didn't get into crack, so that's good. But yeah, by the time you're 25, you're probably feeling 35, burnt out, and you're like, she wakes up in the stairwell. Is a very relatable scene for a lot of people that have partied in their youth. You're like, this can't be it.
Right.
I want to get to the part where, when you hear these other people talk about how like 9 o'clock, too late for me.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm getting to that point. Like 10 o'clock.
Because the joke is like, at 30 you're like, what time are we getting together? At 40 you're like, yeah, I'll meet you there. I'm gonna drive my own car.
Oh, you gotta drive your own car. That way you can Irish exit out of that bill. No, it's too. There's Zelle now. It's too easy to just be like, give me that money. But no, definitely, and then that's probably where she wants to be at, like falafel guy is like, is this all you are? All you're reduced to is to this drunken monster.
Right. Yeah, and then now she's found a guy that doesn't party, so she's she's ready to settle down a little bit.
I mean, yeah, because that guy has he has his goals. I think what's important is like no matter how big or small, as long as you have goals, it's it gives you this driving force to do something, right?
Right. Yeah.
One of the scene I do want to talk about though is when like Leo, after the whole categorizing his records, he comes home and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna use the shower. Don't use the shower."
Right.
And
that was so.
Yeah, like she kisses him first, and then they kiss each other, and then it's never addressed again. Very I think it's a pretty realistic thing that could happen to people.
Yeah.
It's at some point.
And I don't know that party scene. I don't know if that was like a just.
Yeah, I think
those evenings ended in.
Oh well, I think
hookups.
I think in that situation, that was during the time where Falafel Guy was giving her the cold shoulder,
right?
And Leo probably hasn't hooked up with Dancer Girl, and maybe he had like a shitty night or something. And when you guys are down on the dumps together, it was a really weird situation. But I can't say that it's not completely unrealistic,
right?
And plus she, boobs are out, I'm pretty sure they had sex, right? Is that the implication, or
I don't even know,
right? Because like throughout the whole time, she's like he's like my brother,
right?
Fellas never trust her when she,
right? Because her other best friend is like
he's a gay dude.
It's like gay John Travolta. Like that's
super good looking dude. He was not a bad looking guy.
And that was a weird kind of ongoing like joke that like he's like the whole movie he's looking for this guy named Kurt that he had hooked up with.
It was Carl
that he had hooked up with, and then like he's like going to all these parties trying to find him because he's like the love of his life.
Yeah, and then you find he's like a delivery guy, and he's like, "Oh my god, it's Carl." He's like, "It's Kurt."
Yeah,
Carl.
And that's why he couldn't find him. So he was calling
that guy. I was like
asking for the wrong name.
The whole time too, I was like, man, that guy's one mustache away from Freddie Mercury.
Yeah,
could have played him in a '90s biopic, a TV biopic.
Right.
But yeah, like no, this movie, it's a fun little time capsule when you really look at the scope of things, especially if you're from New York. You're like, oh man, I remember that. I remember looking like that, or like going to clubs like that. Everyone has experience of standing in the line in the cold, but also going to like these random parties in the city. You're like, oh, there's a lot of people in front of this building. Let's go inside.
Right. Yep.
Like, that's kind of like the funnest thing about it is like, I remember, what was it called? Like, after breaking up with the person I moved there with, some days I would just like walk around the city. What else is there to do? Obviously, I try to stay in like the more well lit parts. I don't want to get robbed. I've seen somebody get robbed, and that was like a scary situation. Usually you think you're going to be in those situations. You're gonna be like, "Hey, stop there." You're like, "I'm gonna go the other way." I don't want to lose my wallet too, Like, why get myself robbed as well?
Right, exactly.
But yeah, there's one of those nights I saw a building and there's like a lot of people standing in front of it. The door was open. They say when there's an open door, you go through it. I think it's like a ringing phone, right?
Right.
I'm over here just making up say.
Hey, they work.
But for me, I was like in the '90s. I was a kid. I was like going through. I was a kid. Colby, how was this for you as part of like a time capsule type of movie?
It never lived in New York. Never really was like a club kid.
But the feeling of it.
But
right?
yeah, like it definitely represented
a period of time.
It reflected well that time period. Like
right.
I definitely knew people who were just like the people in this.
Oh, right. And like they always look kind of strung out. You're like, you're definitely not a morning person. Oh my God, it's only 12. What are you doing up?
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. I remember being in like college age, and there'd be like, I had like some friends who like their day didn't start till like 4 in the afternoon.
I kind
We'd
of
go and hang out and have dinner and stuff, and then it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go home because I gotta work tomorrow. And they're like, okay, we're hitting the strip because
because there's clubs.
yeah. I'm like,
You're like, oh, it's 10:30.
I'd say let's go over here first, but that place doesn't even open till midnight. So
Yeah, it's funny. Like in my 20s, even in my 20s, I was just like never was a club person. Like for a short period of time, I did some club photography. And I was like, I got there like at 11, and I was like, oh my God, it's 2 o'clock, and I still have to be here for like another. And I looked around the room, and I'm like, why are you people still here? I'm like 23, 24.
right.
But I'm just like, I don't know. It's so funny to like when I talk to some friends from California and they talk to me, it's like, oh yeah, you must have clubbed all the time, I'm like, no, not at all.
Yeah, Vegas is one of those places like New York, like where people just assume, oh, well, you were 21 when you lived in Vegas. Yeah, you were just down at the strip and clubs all the time, huh?
Oh, right, and you're just like, nope. Because it's funny because it's so much easier to club in those places. Like here in Vegas or here in like New York, so easy to go to clubs. Everything's walking. No, well here not here, everything's not walking distance. But you just grab a taxi,
right,
and you get dropped off. It's never like 40 minutes away, like in LA, a place like LA or something like that, or like Atlanta. I kind of can assume that like not everybody lives in the city and they have to go into the city to like club. Here you're like at most 20 minutes away from everything,
right.
Especially at that time of night. There's not really traffic, so you're like, oh, it's time to go to the club. I can get ready in 15 minutes and get there. I know. Everyone's always surprised when you're not working in the casino.
Yes. I remember being like in high school and going like on trips and stuff and telling people I live in Vegas, and they're like, well, which hotel do you live in? And it's like, what?
Yeah, I've gotten that question too. It's like, that's the stupidest fucking question anyone's ever asked. Like every city has a suburb. Like even us, like a suburb is not even that far. It's like 10 minutes away.
Right.
Right? Oh man, but yeah, no, I quite enjoyed this movie though.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we're getting up to our hour. Thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out our other months down below. We have Ninja Month. We have Musical Month.
Right.
Got our Holiday Months.
No spoilers, but I actually just saw some ads for some Christmas movies, Christmas horror movies that are coming out. And I'm like, oh we're making those this Christmas thing.
Christmas here is just second Halloween. Because to be fair, for a lot of people out there, Christmas is a horror. Family is flying in it.
I know, as I say, it was like, it's not all Krampus. Some of it's Jingle All the Way. But that is Arnold Schwarzenegger dressing up like a superhero. So, yeah, still Halloween.
But, yeah, make sure to check out. We have something for you guys. But if this is the first time you guys are joining us, first, thank you for joining us. We have reviews in 4 different sections. We have Stream It, DVD it, Blu-ray it, and we have the Ultimate Box Collection. Colby, where are you at for this one?
Since it is actually getting a re-release onto Blu-ray in the next month or two, I might actually pick it up like that and see what kind of extras, because the director was hyping it, so I'm assuming that then the director's going to put in some commentary and some fun extras on the Blu-ray.
It'd be really cool if like they also sort of like went with a whole little mini documentary about the club scene in New York during that time.
Right.
That would be really cool. That would definitely, if we get a heavy heavy, not like heavy, but like if we get at least a DV, like a Blu-ray with a good amount of, like stuff like that, like a documentary, commentary, and all that stuff, interviews, which would really warrant the need for a Blu-ray for the extra memory.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think it's a pretty easy pickup for me too as a Blu-ray. It's just a nice, it's a nice thing to show people that are like. I had a couple kids at work that are like barely adults, and they always refer to my time in the '90s as the ancient times.
Yeah. Yep.
And this would be kind of a cool movie to show them, And it's funny when you show kids like movies, like, well, why don't they just use their cell phones? Like, this whole misunderstanding could be cleared up if they showed them a cell phone.
Yeah, they don't understand. It's just,
kind of, there's certain aspects of obviously technology makes life a whole lot easier. But sometimes I kind of miss the time before it because you're like, all right, I'll see you there at 7. And 70% of the time they're there. 30%, you just never know.
Right.
Yep. We got to leave 30% for God. Isn't that what they used to say about dancing? Leave some room for God.
That's right. Yeah, you don't want to be too close to your partner. You got to leave a little room for Jesus.
But for the most part, word used to be bond. Like nowadays, you'd send somebody a text like, "Sorry, I can't make it."
Right. Oh yeah. No, you called somebody. Yeah. And then you left the house, and there was just no way to get a hold of them, and you just have to
show up.
Yeah.
Or kind of damage your relationship.
Right.
You're like, well, don't invite him. He kind of never shows up anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Now you're like, we'll invite him, and then he'll text us, but he doesn't come. Kind of let things go now. But yeah, no. I think this is a great movie. I think it's a funny movie to kind of start off Librarian Month or Library Month.
I know. I'm excited to see what other movies are entangled in this web of biblioteca.
Oh man, but hey guys, make sure to check out our links down below. We have our Amazon affiliate links. Me and Colby are just trying to get some porterhouses with a side of mash. Maybe
so we're doing well because like we've upped the steak, we've added sides. We haven't got there yet, but
I thought he was doing a little double entendre there. Up the steak. A little Kendrick Lamar coming out of Colby right now. Make sure to check out those links down below. You don't have to buy those things, but if you're gonna go shopping anyway, you might as well throw us a couple cents.
Absolutely, every penny counts. And then of course we got our socials, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and we would love for you to follow us on those. And it's the easiest way to get a hold of us if you want to send us a little love letter.
But thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check it out as the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music for Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.